What is up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading Ohio for Incarceration Festival, and today we're here with Lee of The Funeral Portrait. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. This
Yeah.
is awesome. This is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome show tonight. I know you guys have been busy. So first thing is always first, your two singles, Holy Water and Paper Mache Man, that just came out. These songs are awesome. What I'm curious is this a clear indication on what the whole new record is going to sound like, or are you going to experiment more with your sound?
So it's kind of different for us in general. Our old stuff was, our first EP was super theatrical sounding, super there was a lot of screaming, that kind of thing. We've just decided to kind of do more of us finally. Finally, the evolution of this band has kind of taken us down this just adventurous cycle, because some of the songs on the record are there's some ballads, weird sounding piano stuff. There's some there's a super dancey song where I spell out literally words in it. It's weird. It's which is great, but everything that I wanted to do though is still make it catchy, still make it us, because that is something that I've always focused on is the chorus. And now we can actually just sit down, work on the chorus first, and then work around it. And that's, I think, what is going to make these songs so different than anything else we've done.
Was this a preconceived idea when making the new record, or did it just kind of happen that way?
It just kind of happened because we started working with some new guys, some new producers, some new actual songwriters. That's something that we've never done before is, quote, songwriters. I think in this industry, you're so used to hearing, oh, and a songwriter, it must be pop music or something. But so much rock music is written with songwriters. And that's such a huge thing that I think is going to help quote, save rock music. I mean, rock music's not dying. I mean, look at freaking Incarceration.
Yeah.
It's freaking packing out here and just opened,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things for us. We wanted to do something different. So we're really excited to kind of just do something a little different.
Yeah, songwriting is a completely separate talent too than just being able to play your instrument.
And that's a huge thing too. For me, I am definitely a performer, and it's not that I don't write the songs, or help write the songs, stuff like that. But for me, I put on a character when I'm up on stage. It becomes this whole different identity than I am sometimes in true life, and I get to use it as kind of I always say this. I use it as therapy, because for me, I get to kind of go up there and lose my mind, for a little bit, be emotional, be who I really am up on that stage. And so for me, getting to do that and playing these new songs are what is really making me happy. I've never been more happy in my life.
Yeah.
And that's coming from, a dude with yellow hair and, wears all black and paints his nails and stuff. So
You got quite a bit of contrast. It's
oh,
awesome.
yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah. It's funny because you mentioned being a performer. When you are performing live in front of an audience, are you trying to maybe execute the material exactly how people are going to hear it on the record, or do you try to make the live presence completely different than what people are going to experience?
It is definitely
listening
hard to do. We don't have a full orchestra and keyboard players and stuff like that, yet. Let me just say yet. But, we try really hard, especially vocally. I try really hard to make it so... I try to make it so that way I can do what I need to do, but also put on a good show. And having a band behind me that really works hard and puts on a good show as well is the most important thing to me. And having these guys do that is it's been awesome.
Yeah. Is the character that you portray on stage, is this something completely outside of yourself, or is it an extension of yourself?
I think it's my true self. Mm-hmm. I think that's more what it is, because it's so weird. I used to be very, not wild, but kind of just out there, and I still am. I do it. But I keep it down low until it's time to lose it. Quote, turn it on and off. But for me, I don't know. I think it's just my true self. I can be who I want to be on stage, which is cool for me.
Yeah. And so is it fair to say that who you are off stage, it's kind of, you say it's your true self, but it seems like you're not doing performing. You mentioned it's therapy, it's your true self. It's not like you're escaping yourself. It's almost kind of like you are just expressing the full essence of yourself.
Yes, I can finally not be afraid to be made fun of, because like who's gonna make? I mean, it happens. I've been made fun of before on stage. I mean, I've even gotten punched in the face on stage before. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother story. That's a crazy. Yeah, we were at a hardcore festival.
Well,
and,
say no-
and we're
say
not
no
a
more,
we're
say
not a
no
hardcore
more.
band.
I'm from New York City. I hang out with the hardcore crowd. Wearing
So-
a Bullet for My Valentine shirt at an Agnostic Front show was probably the biggest mistake I
Worst
made in my
mistake
life.
you've ever made. Yes. Yeah. No, I was just talking about this is, I remember when I was younger and trying to push mosh at a hardcore show, and everybody's two-stepping or, slam dancing, and you're just like, what? I'm gonna get knocked out, and I'm 14 years old. So for me, I'm just happy to do what I want to do, and that's just being on stage and playing shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, being a vocalist as well, do you need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or do you sometimes have a subject matter or a concept in mind, and that helps determine the outcome?
So we actually always start with the idea of the song.
Okay.
A feeling, a vibe, a color, a smell. And that's something too, we're very huge on the smells and on all that kind of stuff. Like on stage we light incense because we can't get into where we are without that. For me, all the senses have to be there to actually be present. It's like Disney World uses it all the time, right? In Disneyland, if you go by a ride like the Haunted Mansion, they're spraying out mildewy, musty smell.
Yeah.
If you've ever done that, or you pass by a bakery, right? They're not actually cooking it in there. They're just pushing out the smell. For me, I think smelling, I think the visuals, I think everything is just as important as the music that you're hearing.
Yeah, it seems like you work off of all five senses.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you like to leave your lyrics open to interpretation, or do you try to maybe get a listener to sort of see things from the character that you portray?
Both. That's like because for us, we talk about a lot of like, especially on the new record, there's a lot of songs about what's been happening in my life or to the band, like old labels or industry people or old girlfriends or relationships or band members. There's those things. I wanted to write something that was super personal, but they're all things that anybody could listen to and be like, I totally relate to that. I had a shitty boss once and I hate him. So this song's for him, and same with the relationship ones. It's like, well, I've had a really bad relationship, I got, when we started writing on the record, I literally, not even 3 days before, got out of a 5-year-long relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it was one of those things that it was literally 3 days. I'm like bawling in the car on the way to the studio. It's one of those things that it's like, let's use that energy for these songs. And that's something that I've never been able to do before.
Of course. And the final question I wanted to ask you is playing at a festival right now versus like doing a tour like what you recently did with From Ashes to New and Palisades. Like, I love asking artists this at festivals. How different of an experience is it executing live, like during the day, versus playing at like a small venue during?
Yeah. See, for us, we're definitely a darker band. We're that whole emo, almost gothy, dark band.
Like Mayhem or Burzum?
Yeah. Oh God, I wish. Jesus. Yeah. We got like pig heads on stage, stuff like that. I wish. One day.
It would be convenient since they do a lot of barbecue here.
I know.
Walk on stage, just bring your shit to the grill.
There we go. But for us, I think we just like to have a good time, and I think you can totally tell that we just enjoy it. Even if something goes wrong, even if we're just not having the best day, even when we're up there, we love to have fun and we love to do it. So
awesome.
But talking on that, I remember, like 10 years ago, I saw AFI play outside. And it was like daytime. I was like, wait, this isn't cool because it's not dark, and So I do agree and disagree, but AFI still put on a killer show.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, sweet, but this is a different AFI than I've seen before.
Of course. I was talking with Awake at Last, with Vince from Awake at Last, and we compared it like if you're drinking a beer during like the day, like at like a 12 in the afternoon barbecue,
yes,
like versus like drinking it at a party at night. You drink a beer like at 12 in the afternoon, like you feel kind of drowsy throughout the day. I'd imagine, if you're playing it like early in the day, like you're ready to take a nap right afterwards.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, playing early it's kind of cool because we're like, okay, we'll do it, and then we get to go watch everybody else or go meet cool people like you and stuff. So
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on today. Is there just, you have these 2 new singles out.
Yes.
When can we be expecting the new Funeral Portrait record, if you're allowed to say? And if there's any tours coming up you'd like to promote.
Wow.
This will be uploaded by midnight.
Okay, cool. Well, a new record will be coming soon. It's basically done. Maybe 1 or 2 more new songs on top of what we have. But right now, the biggest thing that I can say is just go stream it on Spotify or stream it on Apple Music. Streaming is where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you go to, Kingdom Leaks and download the song. Just stream it if you're downloading the song illegally.
LimeWire, man.
Yeah,
I'm
LimeWire.
old school.
Old school. There we go. Hopefully we're on LimeWire. I'm gonna have to check.
I'm a LimeWire child.
Dude, I'm gonna have to check. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Oh my God. The amount of computer viruses.
Oh, dude, I just downloaded a bunch of Weird Al. Like because I was like, this was like 2003. I'm just downloading all of Weird Al's discography. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. just to find that one song that the band didn't release.
Yeah. Well, he had
And
that
then you
problem,
listen to
though.
it and
Yeah.
you realize, I can
wait,
see why they
that
didn't
is
release.
definitely not that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
Dude, thank you
Thank you so
dude.
much.
Yeah, well, I could keep going down the rabbit hole of the crazy stuff that I found on LimeWire. Just like that. God.
we'll be here all day.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, everybody. Lee of the Funeral Portrait. New music coming very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York. Incarceration Fest. We'll see you next time.